up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight we're going to be talking about this restraining order that Meg the Stallion has set forth on Tory Lanez. Now, as some of you guys know, or some of you guys may not know, she first went after Milagro Grams, and she basically was saying in so many words that Tory Lanez was getting Milagro Grams to harass her through her commentary and basically be his do-girl. Now, in a restraining order that was filed today, she is further alleging that Milagro Grams is one of the people that is Tory Lanez's mouthpiece used to harass her from his jail cell. Now, since the news of this breaking, a lot of people have been saying like, well, he's in jail. How can he be harassing her? Well, her claim, just in a quick summary, I have the full document. I'm going to be reading the full thing to you guys. But in summary, her claim is that he's using outside people to basically harass her. Okay, so she's basically saying, listen, he's in jail, so he's having all of these other people, i.e. Milagro Grams, i.e. academics, and his father carry out this harassment against me, and I want to restrain him because now I don't have a protective order against him to protect myself from said harassment. So that's pretty much it in a summary. Now, I basically, I had to pay for the full document because, you know, the blogs, they only put in like one snippet or two snippets from the lawsuit that they think is important. But, you know, I like to read the documents with you guys. So y'all know y'all can also bless your girl Cash App to the document reading fund if you want to. Okay. So this right here is my Cash App above Tory Lanez's head. If y'all want to donate $1 to the document reading fund, child, I would appreciate it so much. But anyways, okay, the first page is her request for a civil harassment restraining order. So I think I could show this part. Okay, so let's get these documents up. Let's go through them. Let's get them off of here. And let's get into it. So again, y'all know y'all can always donate to the document reading fund at Neek LeClaire. I know it is a lot to read. I mean, a lot to type in. But I had to get a new Cash App. So anyways, there we go. Here's the document. So let me make myself smaller and let's get on into it. Okay, this is page 3 out of 194. I said 194. Are you kidding me? So it says, what kind of case is this? And they say that it is a criminal case. And then it says a description of the harassment is dated from 2021 all the way up until 2024. And then it says, how did this person harass you? And so they're going to describe it on a attached document that I am going to read to you guys. And then it says, did the person, Tory Lanez, use or threaten to use a pew-pew or any other weapon? And it's checked yes. So it says, on July 12th, 2020, Mr. Peterson fired 5 rounds of a semi-automatic pew-pew at Miss Pete, who had to undergo surgery for the serious wounds she sustained to both her feet. On December 23rd, 2022, Mr. Peterson was convicted of 3 felony counts: assault with a pew-pew, carrying a pew-pew that was unregistered, and discharging a pew-pew with gross negligence. Mr. Peterson was sentenced to 10 years in state prison, but continues his campaign of harassment from behind bars. It says, were you harmed or injured because of the harassment? She checked yes, and she said that she will be explaining that in her attached documents. Okay. So, and if there's any YouTubers who would like to get this document and not pay the $40 and you want to read the document on your stream, all you gotta do is donate to the cookie jar and I will email you the document, because after I read it, hey, it is what it is. So y'all, you could donate to the Cash App Cookie Jar, and I'll email it to you if you want me to email it to you, and we could do that way as well. All right. So, okay, so she said, yes, she was harmed in the harassment. And it says, did the police come? She checked no. And then it says, has the person, Tory, harassed you at other times? She checked yes. And it says, her personal conduct orders is, I asked the court to order this person, Tory, not to do any of the following things to me or to any person to be protected listed in. So she is asking that he not harass, intimidate, what's with the M word? Attack, strike, stalk, threaten, assault, sexually or otherwise, hit, abuse, destroy personal property of or disturb peace of the person. Now, why is the M word in there? That's just crazy. Anyway, she's also asking that he not contact her either directly or indirectly in any way, including but not limited to in person, by telephone, in writing, by public or private mail, by inter-office mail, by email, by text, by fax, or by other electronic means. It says the stay away orders that she is requesting is that the court order the person to stay at least 100 yards away from her home, her job, her workplace, her vehicle, and she's asking that Mr. Peterson, and it says Mr. Peterson has continued to engage in a campaign of harassment online and through social media, utilizing third parties to further victimize Miss Pete. As a result, Miss Pete requests that Mr. Peterson be ordered not to contact Miss Pete directly or indirectly or harass or intimidate her directly or indirectly online. And it says, if the court orders the person to stay away from all the places listed above, will he or she be able to get his or her home, school, or job? And they says, yes, yes, he can do his job without bothering me. Okay, period. Now, let me drop the opacity on the top watermark. It says, I'm just reading off the parts that are checked. So now this is attachment 4, and we're gonna get down into the specifics. So all right, so it says Daystar Peterson, professionally known as rapper Tory Lanez, is the defendant in the criminal case People versus Daystar Peterson, case whatever, held before the Honorable David Hereford of the Los Angeles Superior Court. On July 12, 2020, Mr. Peterson fired 5 rounds of a pew-pew at Megan, and she's professionally known as Meg the Stallion, who had to undergo surgery for the serious wounds she sustained to both her feet, and they're calling that the incident. So anytime they reference in this lawsuit the incident, they're talking about her getting pew-pewed in both her feet. So it says, prior to the incident, Mr. Peterson and Miss Pete were friends. On December 23rd, 2022, following a near month-long trial, a jury convicted Mr. Peterson of 3 felony counts. I already read those to y'all. All right, so it says, now we're going to get into her describing what the harassment is. Mr. Peterson's harassment of Miss Pete is ongoing. Mr. Peterson is a violent and dangerous criminal, and his established pattern of behavior demonstrates the reason this civil harassment restraining order is necessary to protect Miss Pete and her well-being. Mr. Peterson has traumatized Miss Pete since 2020. Even now, while behind bars, Mr. Peterson shows no signs of stopping despite being convicted and sentenced to 10 years in state prison for pew-pewing Miss Pete. Mr. Peterson continues to subject her to repeated trauma and re-victimization. On July 12, 2020, Mr. Peterson pew-pewed to her feet, and she had to undergo surgery of these wounds. It says, hours before the incident, Mr. Peterson and Miss Pete were at a social gathering together in LA. Miss Pete, Mr. Peterson, and Miss Pete's then okay? Heavy emphasis on her then friend, Kelsey Harris, left the party together with Mr. Peterson, driver Jaquan, and during the drive, an argument ensued between Mr. Peterson and Miss Pete after Mr. Smith pulled over on a residential street in or around the Hollywood Hills. Miss Pete exited the vehicle. While she was walking away from the vehicle, she heard Mr. Peterson exclaim, "Dance, B," before shooting 5 rounds at her, striking both of her feet. On October 8th, 2022, the Los Angeles District Attorney Office charged Mr. Peterson with felony assault with a pew-pew. Shortly thereafter, on October 13th, 2020, a protective order was issued against Mr. Peterson, forbidding him from getting within 100 yards of Miss Pete. Later, on February 21st, 2021, as a result of his escalating use of social media to re-victimize Miss Pete and portray her as a liar, a gag order was issued against Mr. Peterson, barring him from contacting or harassing Miss Pete from discussing evidence of the case with outside parties. Mr. Peterson violated both the protective order and the gag order leading up to his criminal trial. It says, and his bail was increased as a result. In or around October 2022, Mr. Peterson assaulted musician August Alsina. Given Mr. Peterson's violent propensities, the prosecution successfully argued that Mr. Peterson posed a threat to society and that monetary fines were not enough of a deterrent for his violent behavior. Consequently, Mr. Peterson was placed on house arrest. On December 23rd, 2022, following a near-month trial, Mr. Peterson was convicted of, I already read y'all the charges, and it says, even from behind bars, Mr. Peterson continues to terrorize Miss Pete. Due to inadequacies and loopholes in the criminal justice system, Miss Pete is currently without any formal protection against Mr. Peterson's attacks because the protective order issued against Mr. Peterson was only in effect from 2020 through 2023 before his sentencing. It says, given a recent change in the law, the criminal court can no longer issue a post-conviction criminal protective order against Mr. Peterson, absent a very narrow set of circumstances involving instances of DV, elder use, child use, and or abduction and or stalking. Since Miss Pete and Mr. Peterson do not meet the definition of dating relationship as outlined in MA versus BF, Miss Pete cannot obtain a criminal protective order against Mr. Peterson for use stemming from her DV. Even though this case was specially prosecuted by the Family Violence Unit of the LA County District's Attorney's Office, given the limited circumstances in which a victim may seek a post-conviction criminal protective order against the victim's assailant, Miss Pete is left without protection at a time where she needs it the most. Most concerning is that if Miss Pete is not issued at least a civil harassment restraining order, she will be left without any protection for when Mr. Peterson is released from prison. This possibility alone causes Miss Pete severe emotional distress and makes her feel fearful for her life. Now, I just want to check in. Oh, thank you so much, Afro and Hookah, for the tip. Thank you for tipping the cookie jar with a super chat. I appreciate you so much. 504 says, I didn't get my notification, but I'm in the house. Shout out to you. Shout out to my moderators as well. Chrissy, I see you. Shakir, I see you. And who else my moderators? Oh, Stevie, thank you for the super chat. Not you saying, what would you do for $40? Now, child, stop. Because, Not much. Read y'all these documents. No, just kidding. All right, so let's see. What else? What else? What else did I miss? Because when I'm reading the document, I'm not able to also simultaneously look at the chat, so I have to pause to come to the chat and all of that. So back to the document. So it says, and thank you guys so much. If anybody tipped the cookie jar via Cash App, I'm going to check that in a second. Thank y'all so much as well. So number 12, it says, it is counterintuitive and wholly illogical that Miss Pete had protection by way of protective orders and gag orders issued against Mr. Peterson. While he was deemed innocent, i.e. pre-conviction, but that such protections are no longer available to Miss Pete due to a mere technicality in the law now that he has been convicted and proven guilty. The only recourse she has now is to seek a civil harassment restraining order against Mr. Peterson to end his ongoing campaign of harassment, which underscores the urgent need for a restraining order to protect Miss Pete and prevent further harm. Mr. Peterson attempts to re-traumatize and re-victimize Miss Pete recognize no limit. Indeed, they continue even while he is behind bars. And they had to put that in big bold letters to let you know that heavy emphasis on this still going on while he is behind bars. They're saying that all of the people talking about, but he in jail, What she mean? That's why they put that in bold letters to let y'all know that it's still going on, even though he is in big bold letters behind bars. It says the civil harassment restraining order is even more necessary now that Mr. Peterson has yet again waged another campaign of harassment against Miss Pete. One of Mr. Peterson's latest stints involves his filing of a petition for a writ of habeas corpus purposely filed one day before the premiere of Miss Pete's Amazon Prime documentary titled Meg the Stallion in Her Words, alleging that Mr. Peterson's constitutional right to due process had been violated by the government failure to produce and preserve evidence. A true and correct copy of Mr. Peterson's habeas corpus petition is attached hereto as Exhibit 19. At 6, it says, Mr. Peterson claims that the pew and fragments from the incident are missing. They put in parentheses, they are not. Okay, so they're saying he was strategic in filing the writ of whatever corpus, whatever it is. And they saying that he purposely filed it a day before her thing, and he put misleading information in the document by saying that stuff was missing that's not missing. So that's what they basically alleging right there. So it says, Mr. Peterson claims that the pew. Okay, she said they're not missing. And it says, and that is now impossible to conduct. Oh, wait, I'll just start that line over. So it says, Mr. Peterson claims that the pew and fragments from the incident are missing. They're not. And that is now impossible to conduct further testing that might help prove his innocence. ID, these assertions are demonstrably false. So they saying these are lies, okay? He lying about the evidence being missing, and he lying about them not being able to test and prove his innocence. It says the Office of the Attorney General of California responded to Mr. Peterson's outrageous claims without proving any documentary evidence or a declaration from either habeas counsel or custodian of evidence for the Los Angeles Police Department. Petitioner simply asserts that the pew and fragments have not been preserved. A true and correct copy of the Attorney General's reply brief is attached here too as Exhibit 13 at 8. The Attorney General added that the petitioner has not satisfied his burden of providing reasonable, available document. Petitioner has not satisfied his burden of providing reasonably available documentary evidence that would support his factual assertions. His failure to do so is especially significant in this case because his unsupported claim that the LAPD has misplaced or lost evidence is false. The Attorney General filing also included a declaration from the LAPD affirming that the Pew Pew remains in custody, which that directly refutes Mr. Peterson's claims. And so they also included the LAPD's declaration as well. While Mr. Peterson distorts and recklessly disregards the truth in his desperate attempt to appeal his conviction, his false assertions have reignited a slew of negative, harmful, and defamatory comments directed to Ms. Pete. These comments, much like those made near, during, and after the criminal trial, jeopardize the sanctity of the criminal proceedings and improperly question the veracity of Ms. Pete's statements, including comments questioning whether she was ever shot, despite Mr. Peterson's conviction by a jury of his peers on this same issue. Okay, so before I go any further, let me see that everything is working. Okay. Okay. Somebody said I cannot with Meg. Even Cunith called her out recently. I would say that Megan Cunith didn't call her out. Megan Cunith gave her opinion. But what I will say is the opinion of any of us is not fact finding of like basically what the jury will think, because there has been people, and I have been covering trials for since 2022, and I covered the T.I. and Tiny trial, and there was people who had assertions of how they thought that would go, and it didn't go the way that people thought that it was going to go. So just because you have an opinion does not mean that that is what's going to happen as it pertains to the actual order or Megan lawsuit against Milagro. Because one thing that I will tell y'all as well is a jury of the peers in the federal courts when it comes to civil litigations is not the same jury pool that I seen in criminal litigations. So just in my opinion, from watching like criminal trials, the criminal jury pool is a variety of young and old folk or whatever. But when I go to these civil trials and all of that, most of the people that I've seen be a part of the jury be like 70 looking year old people, like, and they don't be skin folk either from what I've seen. But a jury can be made up of, you know, a large number of people. It just depends on where you are, where the jury is pulled from, and what area they are. But, you know, a large amount of what the jury base things off of is also based on their perception of the person. If they think that by their definition, this person is vile, nasty, and mean, they could rule however it may be. Just because you may be a fan of, let's say you like Milagro's banter, or you like the way that she speaks, or, you know, whatever, that doesn't mean that 80-year-old white folks will resonate and look at this the same way. So although Megan Cunith gave her opinion, does not mean that that's what will be the final result. I say all that to say that. So anyways, let's continue. Mr. Peterson harassed Miss Pete through third parties. So now this is where we get into the Milagro-grams stuff. And this is where she starts to say that he is using Milagro-grams and other people to basically harass her through their social media. So it says, indeed, Mr. Peterson continues to harass, bully, and antagonize Miss Pete from prison by and through his use of third party online bloggers who Mr. Peterson employs to spread defamatory statements about Miss Pete. For example, one blogger, Elizabeth Milagro Cooper, has published several false statements about Miss Pete and the criminal trial. Miss Cooper's false statements are the subject of the civil lawsuit Megan Pete versus Milagro Elizabeth Cooper, pending before the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida, case number whatever. A true and correct copy of the amended complaint is attached hereto as Exhibit 1. It says, as detailed in the amended complaint, Miss Cooper serves as Mr. Peterson's puppet and mouthpiece. Okay? It says, Mr. Peterson has publicly confessed that Milagro Grams is the realest. A true and correct copy of Mr. Peterson's tweet is attached here too as Exhibit 2. Indeed, even a former close friend of Miss Cooper, King Noir, admitted that Miss Cooper worked alongside Mr. Peterson to smear Miss Pete's reputation. A true and correct copy of the article discussing King Noir and his comments is attached here too as Exhibit 3. King Noir also affirmed that Miss Cooper, which is Milagro Grams, has a disdain for Megan and that she talks to Tory's daddy in effort to leak information to the press that comes directly from Mr. Peterson. So they're basically saying that the go-between is Tory Lanez's daddy. So she's getting stuff straight from, or Tory Lanez is getting stuff firsthand from himself. It goes to his daddy, and then from the daddy, it goes to it goes to Milagro Grams to spew whatever he needs her or whatever narrative he wants her to spin. That's kind of what they're alleging here. So they're saying it go from Tory to the daddy to Milagro, and that's how all of this web is, weaved in order to put out these false statements against Megan the Stallion. So it says, King Noir also affirmed that Miss Cooper has a disdain for Megan and that she talks to Tory's daddy in effort to leak information to the press that comes directly from Mr. Peterson. It says, Milagro made numerous false and unsubstantiated statements that attempt to call into question the integrity of the criminal trial, including acting like I'm crazy. Where are the bullet fragments that were referenced as metallic fragments in court? And the doctor that took them out. Called an assistant who testified that there were no nerve damage to the stand and said, bye, child. Where's the man that treated her for glass? A true and correct copy of this tweet is attached here too as Exhibit 4. These are clippings of things that they're saying that Milagro said. And it says, I don't think that Tory is innocent because of anything he did before that day. I can't speak on what a human will do. I think he's innocent because before waters got muddied, an independent witness saw a fight between two women that they refused to acknowledge after finding out that one had betrayed the other. No one proved who the gun belonged to. His DNA was inconclusive, and he wasn't the only one with GSR on his hands. And every key witness contradicted themselves on the stand. These facts are why there's no lawsuit. They exist and validate my stance. So this is a excerpt from what they are saying Milagro said. And it says, a true and correct copy of this tweet is attached as well. They also said that Milagro said it's given no nerve damage like that. The doctor on the stand, a true and correct copy of this tweet is attached. It says, and if y'all believe her, why is who shot Megan a question that's being posed? Y'all so timid, speak up. If you are still willing to toy with the idea that someone else could have caused her harm, then you should be able to acknowledge that's the very reason why he doesn't need to be sitting in a cell. right on time for the documentary Yan. A true and correct copy of this tweet is attached as well. It says, according to recently filed paperwork in Tory Lane's case, the pew pew and fragments associated with the crime have gone missing. A true and correct copy of this tweet is attached as well. So these are the tweets that they screenshotted of Milagro Grams and the things that she was saying that they are saying that she said on behalf of Tory. Okay, and it says, this tweet right here says, did not tell y'all that the pew pew was never presented in court, and that ain't make no damn sense. They gave the serial number and breezed past it. Like, first off, whose is it? And then she posted Tory Lane's writ of habeas corpus paperwork. So it says, a true and correct copy of this tweet is attached as well. And it says, on October 28, 2024, Milagro reposted a video of herself asking, can you even prove she was shot? A true and correct copy of this tweet is attached here too as Exhibit 10. So it says, this is a tweet that they screenshotted from Milagro, and it says, imagine being a key factor in the incarceration of a man that a court couldn't prove guilty, then shaking your A while rapping like someone trying to be placed on a blaxploitation film soundtrack to raise money for other wrongly incarcerated men. Crazy work. So it says a true and correct a copy of this tweet is attached as well. So let me check in to see if y'all are hitting the like button. So hold on one second. Let me check the likes and let me see what the likes is looking like while I take a moment to pause in reading this article. Let me click on here and see what the likes is looking like. And the likes is not matching the viewers. And I'm gonna ask y'all right now to like the video. Are we liking the video or not? I would appreciate if y'all hit the like button, hit the share button, and all of the things are the things. I would appreciate that so much. Also, let me see if y'all hit the tip jar of the Cash App, child, because this is a lot of pages and y'all tuned in and y'all watching and y'all is right here in attendance. So let me see if anybody tipped okay. Shout out to Rachel. Marquita, thank you so much. Rachel, thank you so much. Merdice, thank you so much. Thank y'all for NT, thank you so much. Thank y'all for hitting a tip jar. Wait, how to say view? View what? What's her? Oh, okay, you can make little pictures and all that. Okay, shout out to you, Rachel. Thank you. She says she tipping for the document fund. Okay, I appreciate y'all. Tip. Okay, this was a $40 document. Okay, $40 holla. Okay, child. Brought to you by fan funding. If y'all could raise the funds in the tip jar. Oh, and also too, hold on one second. We finna finish reading this document. One second, hold on. One second, hold on one second. Let's see here. Also too, this is my website, www.neekatnight.com. I have a blowout sale going on my website. I have accessories, I have earrings, I have purses, I have goodies, you know what I'm saying, for the bedroom and all of that stuff going on my website as well. So if you want to support your girl, I'm definitely trying to sell out all of these things on my website. Like, I'm down to, like, you know what I'm saying, low numbers of quantity of things because I want to completely sell out of everything before I move on to the next. Now, the toys for the women, I sold out of most of the women goodies for the, you know what I'm saying, little zoom, and a boom, boom. But I do have male toys. So you can go on over there and get you a gift for your man so that he ain't creeping on the side. He could creep with the toy. Okay? So check that out on my website, www.neekatnight.com. Spell it like it is on the screen. Okay, I don't have GHT in my spelling. Spell it just like this, www.neekatnight.com. All right, shout out to my homie in the chat. Hey, girl. All right, let's get back to this document. Put my watermarks back on there. And let's go. So it says, on April 21st, 2023, following his conviction, Mr. Peterson released an Instagram video and statement to his millions of social media followers, making baseless accusations and calling into question the integrity of the criminal trial. Mr. Peterson proclaimed, "Today I take a stance as an innocent black man wrongfully convicted of a crime I did not commit." Mr. Peterson added that the prosecutors in the criminal trial unlawfully misused their authority to hide and suppress any and all exculpatory evidence that exonerates him or furthers his innocence. According to Mr. Peterson, he was completely robbed and deprived of a fair trial. A true and correct copy of Mr. Peterson's statement is attached here too as Exhibit 15. Mr. Peterson also accused the prosecutors in the criminal trial of manipulating a false narrative that left him with no choice but to expose and make aware the practices, the behind-door deals, and the unjust system used to illegally convict him and countless other minorities. Okay, just a few days later, on April 25th, 2025, April 25th, 2023, Mr. Peterson repeated similar comments by claiming that the prosecutors lied about Mr. Peterson being the pew-pew, manipulated DNA results with LAPD experts, and lied to the media, to the world, and to the jury by using invalid and illegal tactics. Mr. Peterson also misrepresented the criminal trial evidentiary record, including by claiming that his DNA results were manipulated because the prosecutors stated that his DNA on the pew-pew was inconclusive, which, according to him, was an absolute lie. Mr. Peterson added the prosecutors went on further to say, "Inconclusive means I cannot be excluded from the pew-pew." Our new attorney, Jose Baez, hired one of the best DNA experts from the nation to carefully analyze the same DNA test the fair and correct way. The results came back exactly as I knew this whole time. My DNA is 100% excluded and 100% eliminated from the pew-pew. In other words, it's physically and scientifically impossible for me to have ever touched or shot this pew-pew. Now, I'm going to tell you how this goes right now. The state has their experts, and certain lawyers have their experts. Now, it's similar to when, some people hurt themselves on a job, and sometimes they have a doctor that'll write you a script that say what you wanted to say, but it just means that, I don't know. This don't exclude him from being a person that shot the pew-pew, in my opinion, because he still had GSR on his hands. But this is how he, uses his language to basically manipulate the audience that believes he's innocent, which I believe he is not. Okay, I was there at the courthouse. I don't believe he's innocent. I believe that he pew-pewed her based on the evidence that was presented, and I feel like his post and pre-conviction behavior shows that of a narc and somebody who does not take full accountability for what they did. So that's just my opinion. Yeah, that's that on that. He had GSR on him, but he's claiming that his DNA wasn't on there, meaning that, like a fingerprint wasn't on there, but that doesn't prove that you didn't shoot the person, because DNA can be wiped off. And they also explained that in court, being that the fact that they were also coming from a pool party and they were just getting out of the pool as well. So that was also presented in court. So it says, in other words, it's physically, okay, so I read that part. It says, it says, based on the fundamentals of my DNA test, the only possible way for the LA Crime Lab to come up with an inconclusive result would literally be to stop the testing before it finished or completed its final result, which would have and should have shown my full exclusion on the weapon. In other words, the prosecutors lied to my jury with false, incorrect, and incomplete DNA results, violating my due process and 14th Amendment rights. A true incorrect copy of an image of and link to Mr. Peterson's video is attached here too as Exhibit 20. On information and belief, in October 2024, Mr. Peterson, through third parties, disseminated a rumor which falsely suggested that an appellate court declared his innocence over the incident. It's difficult, if not impossible, to imagine how the appellate court consolidating Mr. Peterson's petitions for writ of habeas corpus and appeal can be interpreted as a declaration of innocence. Mr. Peterson's interpretation underscores his desire to spread misinformation in an effort to save his public image. Okay, so right here it says, where it says, we have considered the petition for writ of habeas corpus or whatever, and they said they just basically in this was saying that they agreed to read it, but that's not saying, okay, we agree that he's innocent. They're just saying that we agree that we're going to read it and look into what he's saying. But Tory Lanez basically went to the internet and tried to state that them saying that we'll look at it and we'll read your appeal meant that he was innocent, which they did not give a final finding of him being innocent. So therefore he used this to manipulate the public, and that is what they are alleging. Now it says on December 10th, 2024, Miss Pete amended her complaint in her case against Milagro before the United States District Court of the Southern District of Florida. It says, and added additional factual detail from Mr. Peterson's prison call logs, which shed light on Mr. Peterson's basically conspiring relationship with Milagro. In these prison calls, Mr. Peterson's father, when he thought no one was listening, asked his son about payments to Milagro for her harassment of Miss Pete. So they're saying, y'all thought we wasn't listening to these calls, but we hear you asking how y'all asking about the payments to Milagro. That's what they saying in the chat. I mean, not in the chat, in the lawsuit. Somebody said Tory gonna drop a diss track. Neek, wait till Tory hears this. He's gonna drop a diss track towards who? Me? I don't give a damn. Give me the clout. Diss me all you want. I don't give a fuck if that's what you mean. I don't know what you mean by diss track. Diss track against Megan. Diss track against who? Only person that he needs to sit with and be dissing is nobody, because he the one who got himself in this situation, and that's coming from somebody who loved Tory Lanez music. I listen to Tory Lanez music. I don't care who mad about it. I love his music. But what I'm not going to do is pretend that the facts are not the facts. I'm not going to do mental gymnastics to try to make myself believe that he didn't do this. When I sat in court, I saw the temperament. I saw the witnesses. I saw the way that they testified. And I saw all of it go down in court. And I saw the star witness basically point him out as the shooter, along with all of the other evidence of his jail call, the sound of the shooting, that there could not have been a struggle with the gun. The post that he made on social media where he said that Kelsey was not the person responsible, the text messages that he sent to Megan's cell phone after the fact, and how Kelsey was texting right after, within minutes of the situation, saying, "Help, Tory shot Meg." So with all of those things that I saw, and a lot of people, they go and they say, "Oh, I read the documents. I read the documents." Reading the testimony is totally different from seeing a person testify. There's so many nuances that you can't pick up on by reading black and white. There's a lot of people on social media like, "Oh, I read that and it said that." It's nuances on the way that they speak, their mannerisms, their body language, their temperament, their voice inflection. There's so many things that go into account of a witness statement that you cannot pick up on reading the black and white thing. So you might read it and it says, Tory Lanez shot Meg, and then Tory Lanez could be like, "I shot Meg." You see how that's different than Tory Lanez's response being, "I shot Meg." You get what I'm saying? So a person can say words and you can read them in the black and white, and it could be read a certain type of way, but the way that somebody speaks, it could be different. Somebody saying, "I shot Meg," and "I shot Meg." You're saying the same words, but it's delivered different. One, you're saying it in a form of a question. The other way, you're saying it in a form of a declaration or a statement. So again, I say that to say a lot of the people who think because they read the documents, they know more than, people who actually seen it. Hey, it is what it is. Somebody said, "By your words, you shouldn't be reading this suit then." Is this a witness? When you heard me read Milagro's words, did I sound like Milagro when she talk? No, I don't. So no, all I'm saying is there are nuances that go along with it. And Kyron, if you can't comprehend that, then you shouldn't be sitting here listening to me read the document, because comprehension is key. And if you lack comprehension, then, you probably shouldn't be here listening to me read the document. L Max says, "Neek, I watched you every day during the trial and you were very unbiased. I respect you for that." Thank you so much. Thank you for the person who gave me the compliment on my hair. I appreciate y'all as well. Now, I took my braids out, but I still have videos that I shot when I had my braids in. So I still have to post those videos. So when y'all see the videos with my braids in, then just know. Whatever. Anyways. Clock it. Clock it, Cynthia. Let me put this on the screen before I go any further. Clock it. Clock it. Corey, you wear your real hair. Or you have your woman wear your real hair. Don't worry about what I wear. I'm gonna throw on a good wig. Anyways, Cynthia says, "You all never believe Kelsey did it, because if you did, you would be harassing her and not constantly harassing Megan." Okay. Clock it. Clock it. And you know what was also interesting that I found when I was covering this trial is every time Tory Lanez's daddy spoke out to the media, every time they went and they villainized somebody, they never attacked Kelsey. They never went after Kelsey in a way of like when there was that big there was that big eruption after court. After the verdict was read, I went live and Tory Lanez's dad was like coming after Megan and Rock Nation. One thing that I noted was they never said, and Kelsey, you know damn well you're supposed to be the one behind bars. Kelsey, you're responsible. Like, I never, even like when the daddy went live and he was going in on Megan, Kelsey was not the person that they made the center of it. Because why are y'all so angry at Megan but not angry at the alleged shooter that has you behind bars for her alleged crime? If y'all could find the daddy condemning Kelsey, send it to me, because I have not seen it in the 2 years since Megan and this situation happened. So clock it, Cynthia, because Kyron or whoever, they don't use their comprehension at all. And if there is evidence of Tory Lanez's dad saying that Kelsey is the one that did it and they blaming her, I'll retract my statements. But I ain't seen it. And I was there in court. And I was there when he had outbursts. And I watched his live that he did. And I don't remember it. And I also don't see Tory gearing his anger towards the woman that he is falsely in jail doing a bid behind either. And I also recall him from the page that he owned saying that she wasn't the one who did it. So anyways, so let me finish reading. So we on page 18, okay? But I know, I always ruffle some feathers because I always use my own, my own brain. And I'm just not a person who, I don't idolize anybody. I could love your music down. I could listen to Chicks Tape 1,000 times. But I don't care. Once I heard the facts, because I went into that court thinking that everybody lying. So let's get down to the meat and potatoes of it. And once I heard the facts presented, I felt from the facts it proved, in my opinion, aligned with the finding of the jury of his peers that he was guilty. I didn't create no friendship with the family or create anything with anybody. So I'm not, I don't give a damn. Tory ain't paying none of my goddamn bills. So, that's that on that. So anyways, I'm not entertaining Kyron anymore because you the one that got amnesia. Anyways, okay, so boom, let's go forward. On December 10th, 2024, Miss Pete amended her complaint in her case against Miss Cooper before the U.S. District Court of Florida. It says, basically her and Tory have been conspiring by way of the father. So it says, in the prison calls, Mr. Peterson's father, when he thought no one was listening, asked his son about payments to Miss Cooper for her harassment of Miss Pete. It says, how are they ever going to prove something like that? Mr. Peterson responded exactly. Instead of denying that Miss Cooper has been paid, they question how Miss Pete uncovered their conspiracy. Okay? So Megan's saying, instead of him saying, right, like, we didn't pay her, like, what are they talking about? Tory and his dad is asking, well, how can they prove it? Okay? So they're basically saying that they don't have the proof, but they have the conspiracy of it because they didn't deny it and because they have proof that Milagro and Tory's dad have been linking up. So they're going to get to that as well. So it says, how are they going to prove something like that? Mr. Peterson responded, exactly. Instead of denying that Miss Cooper has been paid, they questioned how Miss Pete uncovered their conspiracy. On December 13, 2024, Mr. Peterson proved once again that he is working together with Milagro to bully, harass, and further victimize Miss Pete. Through a statement put out by Unite the People, the law firm Mr. Peterson himself recruited to represent Milagro in an effort to cover up their conspiracy. Mr. Peterson again falsely accused Miss Pete of deceit and manipulation as part of a calculated attempt to continue his harassment campaign. So they're saying that Tory Lanez is the one that got her to hire this people, Unite the People. And you know what? I actually interviewed Unite the People outside of court. Let me see if I can find my interview that I did with Unite the People, because they were there at the trial and I interviewed them. And the audio isn't really all that great, but let's see. The audio isn't all that great, but I'll just play a snippet of it because, baby, it was a lot going on. Ooh, my hair was slaying this day. Hold on. Let me show y'all. Oh, wait. I'm finna find a, Child, girl, your hair was slaying that day. Hold on. Let out of court, and Tory Lanez was just sentenced to 10 years in prison. They just laid down the sentence, and time seeing a celebrity trial.
Oh yes, thank you. Oh, what do you mean it'll all get better? You haven't seen me in forever?
Yeah, looking good though.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I see you.
Troy still know who that is.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was interesting to hear the arguments. A whole lot of waste of money that this brother had to pay for these attorneys to argue things that were completely unlikely, like probation. But hey.
What do you think about Tory's statement that he gave to the court?
Those statements aren't going to move a judge. It's a little too late. The judge was already decided on what he was going to do based on the law, based on the sentencing guidelines, based on whether he's going to get the low term, the midterm, or the high term. He knew he was going with the midterm all along. There's nothing you're going to do to change the judge from going to midterm. There's no way he would have got the low term. The low term would have been 3 years plus the enhancement, and there was no way he was going for that. But here's the good news. 10 years in the state of California, you do 85%. So that's 8.5 years he has to do. Of that 8.5 years, he's already got a year credit. So he's got to do at least 7 years. And if he programs and he enters a couple of programs in prison, he might get another year knocked off. So he could possibly be home in 6 years, which would take us to 2029. So.
All right, let me see. This is Jose Baez.
You have two sides to the argument. You came in late to this case. What would you have done differently? What would you have done differently? Because you came in late after the work.
I would have won the case. That's what I would have done differently. I think this case was handled incredibly poorly. The attorney had 2 weeks to prepare for trial, and we would have come in prepared and ready to show that A-Star Peterson was innocent of these charges. So,
how is his demeanor right now? How does Mr.
All right, so this is so Unite the People is one of the guys right there in the green. Let me find my interview that I did with Unite the People. So hold on. let me get my interview with Unite the People real quick because I interviewed them, but again, the audio isn't the greatest. So let me find it for y'all. 1 second. Where is it at? It should be on. Oh, wait. It should be under my video tab. There we go. Here it is. Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek from Neek at Night, and I am reporting live with Caesar, who is with an organization called Unite the People, and he gave a very powerful speech today for the Tory Lanez impact statement, and I just want him to speak to you guys about his foundation. Yes, sorry, his foundation, and the role that Tory Lanez has played for his foundation, and some of the things that he was able to speak to as the court.
Sure. Well, what we talked about today
If you just speak a little louder.
Okay, Tory Lanez is on our advisory board. He's been on our advisory board for about the last 5 years. And so we do a lot of work in the community with the disadvantaged youth. We do a lot of work with the homeless veterans. We even do toy drives for homeless kids, as well as we provide affordable legal services for the disadvantaged community, right, throughout the entire state of California. So our nonprofit has a staff of lawyers, paralegals, law students, formerly incarcerated people like me and our chief of staff here, Trevio Pope. And what we do is we provide legal services for people who can't afford $20,000, $30,000 for a lawyer. They'll come to us. We do charge a fee, but it's a very low fee. Just basically give them the help that they need.
Okay, so how did you come into contact with Tory, and how did he come involved with your organization?
Well, a few years ago, we were helping out one of Tory's people.
If you could speak up just a little.
Okay, yeah. A few years ago, we were helping out one of Tory's people who seen a lot of the work that we do. Is a really good guy, a friend or family member of his, and seen a lot of the work that we do. So then we went, and he connected us with Tory, and it went from there. And he just, as soon as he saw what we did, he started getting involved. Tory's a good guy, and honestly, he does a lot of giving back that people don't know about. So as soon as he saw what we were doing, I mean, our staff, we have pictures and videos of, Tory in the office stuffing bags for the homeless veterans or for the toy drive for the kids. So that's how he got involved, and it's been ever since.
Okay, so can you speak to us about this event that you have put on to where he came? All right, so that's like a 6-minute interview that I did with Unite the People, but I just wanted to show you guys that. But they have Megan Cunith is posting that Meg the Stallion's legal team had uncovered payments to from Tory Lanez's dad to Milagro. Now, I don't know if I got to that part of the lawsuit yet because I'm reading it live with y'all. So so I'm on page 20 right now. Let me go down to see, because she's posting that there was payments from Tory Lanez's side to Milagro. So hold on, let me see. I don't want to lose where I'm at. So I'm gonna just go to her Twitter real quick to show y'all what she's saying while we read more of this lawsuit. So let me go to what she's posting really quickly, because she's basically saying that they uncovered payments to Milagro. So let's post this real quick, and then we're gonna go into more detail. So right here it says hold on. So right here it says, Megan's lawyer also obtained Zelle records that show Lane's father, Sun Star, Carlos John Peterson, paid Milagro $3,000 between October 28, 2020 and March 3rd, 2022 in 6 payments between $200 and $1,000. So they have Zelle payments from Tory Lanez's dad from October 28th, 2020 in the sum of $500. And then in February 23rd, 2021, his father paid her $1,000. And then in February 25th, 2021, his father paid her $300. And then in March 7th, 2021, he paid her $200. In April 21st, 2021, he paid her $500. And in March 3rd, 2022, it shows a payment of $500, totaling $3,000. So that is what they are alleging right there. Now, you guys are saying this is supposed to be a receipt. Well, I haven't got to that part yet, so I'm just showing y'all what she pulled up so far. But clearly, if she has it right there, we got it in the lawsuit. So we're going to get to it when we get to it. Now, y'all in the comments saying, Reach, what other reason would his father be paying her for? Somebody said that he was paying her to do Christmas presents. That's what y'all paying? Y'all crazy. So y'all telling me that they put a fake receipt in a legal court document that can be verified by a judge? So y'all telling me that y'all think that they would post a fake Zelle? I know y'all not saying that. I know y'all is not saying that. But y'all think Tory Lanez didn't pew Megan. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that that is what you are alleging. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised that that is what y'all are alleging. Okay. So anyways, let's continue. It says, Mr. Peterson, and I'm not saying that those payments were saying, hey, let me pay you to make this video. But those, honestly, I went to Tory Lanez's court dates, and those payments, I believe they coincide with his court dates. I would have to double check. Because from my memory, no, he got found guilty December of 2022. So no, this was before the court dates. Yeah, I don't know. Cause I was gonna say maybe he paid for her flight so that she could be in attendance, but this is before the trial, actually. So I don't know. I have no idea. Let's move on. Let's continue reading. So it says, Mr. Continued. Mr. Peterson continued harassment of Miss Pete has caused her severe emotional distress and reputational harm. Mr. Peterson is fully aware of the impact of the psychological warfare he has waged against Miss Pete, yet he continues to deputize his supporters to attack Miss Pete's character and integrity. During the criminal trial, Miss Pete testified that the incident ruined her life and forced her into a depressive state. Miss Pete detailed numerous instances of being called a liar. She even recounted instances of death threats she has received since the incident. Miss Pete noted, "I feel like I can't even hold a conversation with people for a long time. I don't want to talk to my friends. I don't want to talk to my man. I don't want anybody to ask me about this. I feel terrible talking about it. I feel like I had started to feel like because I don't matter, I don't even want to be on this earth no more. I wish he would have shot and unalived me if I would have known I was going to go through this torture. Miss Pete also detailed her experiences after the incident in an article she authored in Elle magazine on August 8th, 2023, titled "Nobody Can Take Your Power." Megan the Stallion, in her own words, a true and correct copy of the article is attached here too as Exhibit 14. In the article, Miss Pete reflected on surviving the unimaginable. She survived being shot by someone she trusted and considered a close friend, and overcame the public humiliation of having her name and reputation dragged through the mud by Mr. Peterson for the entire world to see. Miss Pete recalled that for years, her attacker laughed and joked about her trauma. For years, her attacker peddled false narratives about what happened on the night of July 12th, 2020. And for years, her attacker tried to leverage social media to take away her power on how it impacted her mental health. Miss Pete wrote that the truth is that I started falling into a depression. I didn't feel like making music. I was in such a low place that I didn't even know what I wanted to rap about. I wondered if people even cared anymore. There would be times that I'd literally be backstage or in my hotel crying my eyes out, and then I'd have to pull Megan Pete together and be Megan the Stallion. As to the constant harassment she continues to receive from Mr. Peterson and third parties at his direction, Miss Pete discussed in her documentary. Can you bring me some water? Thank you. It says, hold on. Before I read there, let me see. Oh, thank you, Yolanda, for the compliment. Let me make sure I didn't miss out on any super chats. Y'all know that this is a 194-page document, and we're going to get through enough of it that's going to paint the picture of what is being alleged. But this document was $40, so we have not reached the $40 fund. And, I'm just trying to get fan funding for the document. So if y'all could tip the cookie jar, which is my Cash App. Thank you, baby. Go ahead and get your shower and everything. If y'all could tip the Cash App, Nick LeClaire, send $1, a $1 holla, $2 holla, okay? So that, add to the cookie jar of the document reading fun, okay? Period. Ray in KC says, I thought we were past this. She keeps bringing it up. Well, I think a fair statement would be that she keeps responding to Tory Lanez bringing it up. So if you are going to say that she keeps bringing it up, you have to also talk about how Tory Lanez is bringing it up. They just released a snippet of Tory Lanez in a new song with DDG where he was bringing up the situation and talking about how he should have stayed in the pool with Kylie, and this was in a newly released track that he recorded from jail. So if we're going to say that she keep bringing it up, we also have to hold him accountable for him bringing it up. But y'all be one-sided now. Y'all be acting like y'all don't be seeing what's going on. And, I be peeping what be going on both sides. Okay? So, moving on. So, number 27, it says, as to the constant harassment she continues to receive from Mr. Peterson and third parties at his direction, Miss Pete discussed in her documentary, Megan the Stallion, in her words, that she would rather not live through this than to have to live with this. In the documentary, Miss Pete discusses her unaliving thoughts that led her to a 1-month stay at a mental health retreat right before the criminal trial. Now, being that she's suing Milagro Grams for defamation, guess who they probably are also going to bring up in court when it comes to damages? They gonna bring up this mental health retreat. I can almost guarantee it. Okay? So when they start litigating Meg the Stallion versus Milagro Grams, and they start talking about recouping damages and lost wages, you better believe that this mental health, this 1 month stay at a mental health retreat that is holding a celebrity, you better believe that's going to be mentioned again in that lawsuit when it come time to talking and seeking damages. Okay? Because they're trying to tie Milagro into this whole thing. They're saying that they're working together in sync to wage this campaign against her to try to discredit her. So it says she had a 1 month stay at a mental health retreat right before the criminal trial. It says years after the criminal trial, Mr. Peterson, by and through his media puppets, continues to reoffend Miss Pete by forcing her to relive this trauma. It says Mr. Peterson harassment of Miss Pete began after the incident. Long before the criminal trial, Mr. Peterson denied that Miss Pete was ever even pew-pewed, widely publicizing the false narrative that she fabricated her own assault. For example, on September 25th, 2020, Mr. Peterson released a track titled Money Over Fallouts, in which he raps, "How the F you get pew-pewed in your foot and don't hit no bones or tendons." It says, to shield Miss Pete from Mr. Peterson's harmful conduct, the Honorable David Hereford issued both a protective order and a gag order against Mr. Peterson on October 13, 2020 and February 21st, 2021. Hold on. Let me see if... I'm trying to see if any of these dates match up. So they saying that they released the gag order October 13th. Okay, I'm trying to see if any of these payments match any of the timing of any of this stuff that is being pushed. It says the protective order prohibited Mr. Peterson from getting within 100 yards of Miss Pete, and the gag order barred Mr. Peterson from contacting or harassing Miss Pete and from discussing evidence of the case with outside parties. Orders Mr. Peterson violated and for which he was imprisoned and fined. In or around October 20th, Mr. Peterson published an IG video that claimed Miss Pete was endorsing a false narrative about being shot. On July 25th, 2021, during Miss Pete's performance at Rolling Loud Festival in Miami, Florida, Mr. Peterson got within 100 yards of the stage on which Miss Pete was performing in violation of the protective order. When Miss Pete learned that Mr. Peterson was in such close proximity, she grew fearful and anxious. Following the festival, Mr. Peterson made public comments on Twitter that he was starting to not give a F about this gag order. Okay? So they have attached that as well. So they're like, listen, he over here saying he don't give a F about the order. He coming and this is when he had a gag order. So they're showing all the reasons why a judge should be inclined to do this civil protective order. So it says, following the festival, okay, so he made a comment on his Twitter saying he don't give a F about the gag order. It says, on August 23rd, 2021, the court found that Mr. Peterson had violated the criminal protective order and increased his bail to $250,000. Mr. Peterson was admonished and advised that further violations would result in a remand. On February 23, 2022, in a since-deleted social media post, Mr. Peterson's close friend and media puppet, DJ Academics, falsely claimed that a pre-trial hearing revealed that Mr. Peterson's DNA was nowhere to be found on the Pew Pew. DJ Academics posted this tweet before the February 23, 2022 court hearing began, during which the DNA report was discussed. In actuality, during that hearing, Mr. Peterson's attorney merely notified the court that his team was retaining a DNA expert, not that his DNA was not found on the Pew Pew. So they include this post by DJ Academics. Okay. And then it says, after the court hearing, Academics posted on Twitter, I saw the doc myself. It literally says it was inconclusive in finding Tory DNA on the gun or magazine. Academics also tweeted directly at Miss Pete, you literally won all your awards off sympathy off this you got shot storyline. And you so bothered over my tweeting out facts about Tory case, go ask the DA. DNA results was submitted in discovery. Why you care so much what the internet says? Oh, I know. You've been living off a narrative, and it's sad you made it where if Tory don't go to jail, you don't win. So, let's read some more. And let me check the likes. Let me check the likes and see what the likes is looking like. Y'all talking about free the king of R&B, Tory Lanez. Free him right into the hands of the Canadians after he does his time. Y'all are funny in the chat. All right, let's go. On or around March 12, 2022, defendant published a disturbing music video with lyrics and violent imagery referencing the criminal trial and Miss Pete in his track titled Cap, a slang term meaning lie. And the accompanying music video, Mr. Peterson is seen in a butcher shop holding a blood-stained butcher knife before slicing through a horse's dismembered leg and hoof, rapping, said the beef was over. That was MFing Cap. Attached here too as Exhibit 16 are still shots from the music video depicting these scenes. On information and belief, these scenes allude to Miss Pete injuries from when she was shot by Mr. Peterson. Mr. Peterson cutting through a horse leg is a reference to Miss Pete's stage name, Meg the Stallion. In the next scene of the music video, Mr. Peterson is seen standing outside a courthouse grabbing a microphone from a reporter as he raps, "Bees trying to end me so I cannot be polite." Attached here too as Exhibit 17 is a still shot from that scene. On information and belief, this is directed at Miss Pete, and the imagery in the video refers to the court's gag order that Mr. Peterson cannot publicly comment on the case. The music video also features a scene involving Mr. Peterson and a woman with physical similarities to Miss Pete as he raps, "Ken just got them two best friends to F. I said goes." Attached here too as Exhibit 18 are still shots from that scene. On information and belief, this refers to Mr. Peterson's claim of having hanky-panky relations with Meg and Kelsey. It says, even the court orders and admonishment did not stop Mr. Peterson's offensive and harmful behavior. On April 5th, 2022, Mr. Peterson violated the discovery protective order, this time by disclosing that the LAPD DNA report, which was the subject of the Discovery Protective Order, to his millions of followers on social media. It says, to add insult to injury, Mr. Peterson also posted degrading and derogatory tweets about Miss Pete, implying that he never apologized for shooting Megan. Rather, his apology was because he got caught fucking two best friends. I had to say the cuss word. I had to say the cuss word all together. Okay, he didn't apologize for shooting her. He apologized for effing them. And I believe that that is a crock of BS. Anybody with common sense and intellectual intelligence knows that he claimed on the phone call that he don't even remember what they argued about. Therefore, it's impossible for him to be apologizing for effing two best friends. How can in one statement you say you don't remember what the argument was, you got too drunk, I just got too drunk, to then say that you were arguing or you were apologizing for effing the both of them when that was never stated. You were talking in code. And only people who do mental gymnastics believe otherwise. And I said what I said. Period. So, you know, and I'm still going to bump your music, but that whole thing was bullshit. So anyways, Mr. Peterson's blatant disregard for the court's orders led to an increase of his bail to $350,000. Mr. Peterson was also remanded to custody before posting a new bond. All right, so this is Exhibit 1. And this is the lawsuit and the amended complaint for Milagro. Now, we could read through this at another time. But basically, in this lawsuit, they are alleging that she is the paid do girl for Tory, and she is the mouthpiece for Tory. And they are alleging that Milagro and Tory Lane's father, they be meeting up in person, and they show video proof of Milagro posting them meet up in person. And this is just a quick excerpt. It says, it is no secret that defendant has a close relationship with Mr. Peterson. Not only has she repeatedly demonstrated her support for Mr. Peterson on social media accounts, she has publicly acknowledged her friendship with Mr. Peterson's father, Sunstar Peterson, in a February 27, 2022 Instagram post that has since been deleted. Defendant shared a video of herself with Sunstar Peterson. A true and correct copy of a screenshot is posted and is attached, and it says, while the defendant's social media post celebrating the Petersons portray merely an innocent and supportive relationship, the defendant also has a financial incentive to act as a paid surrogate to spread defamatory statements about Miss Pete while Mr. Peterson serves a 10-year sentence. All right, so we can read through this in another post if y'all want me to. They also talk about the deepfake video that Milagro told everybody to look at that showed Megan with a or they showed like a fake body hunching with Megan's face on it or whatever, trying to say that that was her and all of that. So this is all of the Milagro stuff in the lawsuit that they put together. Let's get into some of the other stuff that they have attached, because reading through this lawsuit is a whole video in itself. Okay, we just on page 62. Okay. All right, Exhibit 2. This is more tweets from, this is Tory Lanez, where he's saying that him and Milagro is coming out with a podcast. And he got to secure Milagro, and he lit. And they lit. So this is 10/30/20. Oh, no. Okay. So this is a excerpt from Source magazine. It says former friend of blogger Milagro Grams blast her for allegedly working with Tory Lanez in smear efforts against Meg the Stallion. So it says blogger Milagro Grams' former friend King Noir has observed all the back and forth between Megan the Stallion and Tory Lanez and has dropped a bomb. So guess who is going to be, or who I predict to be the star witness in Meg the Stallion's defamation case? Ding, ding, ding. This is my prediction. This that gonna be their star witness, okay? From my opinion on what I think, this gonna be the one that they call to the stand and they say, hey, sir, tell us the 411 on Milagro's vendetta against Meg the Stallion. Tell us what you was talking about in that Source magazine. And if he does not try to, or change, like if he try to change his tune, all they're gonna do is like, remember you said on the Source magazine XYZ XYZ? You know what I mean? I'm always Hey girl, thank you for watching. And supporting. And are y'all hitting the like button? Are y'all hitting the like button? And have y'all visited my website www.nikatnight.com? Let me know. All right, so let's read this article. It says blogger Milagro Grams' former friend King Noir has observed all the back and forth between Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez and has dropped a bomb. King Noir recently expressed Milagro Grams and her mob radio platform for allegedly working alongside Tory Lanez to smear Megan Thee Stallion. King Noir made the reveal during a recent episode of his station head platform. Noir at one point was Milagro's best friend. During the friendship, Milagro allegedly assisted Tory Lanez in a mudslinging towards Meg the Stallion during the legal case. Milagro is also suspected of peddling false information against Megan Thee Stallion. During a stream on Stationhead, Noir spoke against Milagro, citing that she has a disdain for Megan and that she talks to Tory's daddy. Okay, so this is them basically trying to connect the dots of the conspiracy that they are alleging. They're like, listen, we see payments. We see payments to Milagro. We see a jail phone call of them discussing how we can't prove the payments. We see Milagro linking up with the daddy. And then now we have confirmation from her ex-best friend saying that she talked to the daddy on the phone. So this is them connecting the dots of the conspiracy that they are putting together and saying that she is a mouthpiece for Tory Lanez. Thank you so much for the person that just ordered something off my website. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate all of the support so much. Milagro also recently spoke out. Let me see what Milagro is saying as well. The Shade Room just posted a post from Milagro. Let me just type her in on Twitter. What's her page? Mob's World? Oh, her and Armand going back and forth. Okay, so Milagro has been saying a lot today about this. So let's just read through some of her tweets. Let's see what's being said. All right, let's move this over. All right. So, this is a post from XXL Mag, and Milagro says, they're so ready to get this out that they're speaking out of turn. I'm not being sued for posting deep fake stuff. The paperwork clearly states I did not create nor post the video. That would make this tweet. What? And then she says, they done went from plastering my name all over everywhere. Now no mentions next to tweets. These games are sick. Milagro says, they make a fool out of y'all daily. I think they be laughing as hard as me. Then Milagro says, be so effing for real. I'm cutting the show. If it ain't looking right, F you mean. And then Armand posted, Zelle records of $3,000, child. I'm about to go live. Mind you, Milagro was up there threatening to sue me when she allegedly got paid. Now let's see if she sued the woman that put it out. And Milagro responded to him and said, ain't it's changed. And then Milagro says, babe, me and you will not be in the same boat. I know you want that for me so bad. This is your bed. You can't sue me for ish. I'm reporting what's out. Take your lawsuit with grace and stop trying to bring me into it. So that is what Armand said to Milagro. And Milagro said, I said what I said. Go live. They're waiting. And then she said, I didn't issue out a statement, but since my tweets are being posted on blogs, I don't feel the need to react emotionally to internet fodder. I don't need to prove a thing to the court of public opinion. The truth will be in black and white and filed with the courts, not the blogs. Okay, and that's your best bet. Stop going live on Station Head saying stuff.
Your music or the controversy that surrounds you.
Oh, that's old. All right. So that's what Milagro is saying. So let's go back to this. Let me check the likes to see what the likes is looking like. Let's see what the likes is looking like. The likes are not matching, so I'm gonna need y'all to definitely hit the like button as well. So let's continue. So this is what the friend said. Okay, so it says, at one point, okay, he was Milagro's friend. During a stream on Station Head, Noir spoke against Milagro, citing that she has a disdain for Megan and that she talks to Tory's daddy in an effort to leak out information that comes from Tory Lanez himself. Noir also stated that he was included on a three-way call with Milagro and Tory's father, aligning with the time that information was leaked on the internet. Meg the Stallion has made it clear that she wants Tory Lanez in jail. In a new Rolling Stone cover story, Hot Girl Meg spoke more about that night in 2020 in which Tory Lanez allegedly shot at her, leading to bullet fragments being lodged in her foot. After recalling the events, the Stallion made a firm statement. I want him to go to jail, blah, 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 blah. So this is a Milagro Grams tweet. It says, acting like I'm crazy. Where are the bullet fragments? That's what I read to y'all in this court document. Okay, Exhibit B is another, Exhibit 5 is another post from Twitter from Milagro where it says about the gun DNA. It's given no nerve damage like the doctor said. Exhibit 7, it says the who shot Meg, why is that in question, or whatever. Exhibit 8, it says, according to recently filed paperwork, Tory Lanez's case, the pew-pew and fragments associated with the crime have gone missing. Exhibit 9, the tweet where she says, didn't I tell y'all the pew-pew was never presented? This is a Justice for Tory video, I guess, tweet. And then this is his sentencing memoranda. So this is like about the incident and stuff. So what else is there? This is another tweet from Milagro. It says, imagine being a key factor in the incarceration of a man that a court couldn't prove guilty. Crazy work. And then she got the clown emoji. Okay, so this is the table of contents. What else? I'm trying to see what else receipts there are. But we read through most of it. I will go through these individual things a little bit later and bring those to y'all. But I'm gonna just give my opinion on the whole thing. Let me first see if there is any other thing that they added in here that's important. Let's see. I'm trying to see where Megan Cuniff got that payment thing from. I'm trying to see if it's here. We on page 151. Okay, so this is a statement that Tory Lanez did. Okay. That's where the music video clip. I think this is his writ of habeas corpus. I'm trying to see if there's anything that I specifically need to like point out or read to y'all. Okay, I don't see the Zelle payment thing in here, so maybe that's something that her team must have probably sent directly to Megan Cuniff, perhaps. You know, so let's speak about my thoughts, and let me correct Mimi here. Let's put let's put Mimi's comment on the screen and respond to it, and then we're gonna get into my thoughts. Mimi says, Neek, I know you support Meg, but this lawsuit is bogus. Be real. So number one, I believe that Megan was shot. Supporting Meg the Stallion and believing that she was shot is two totally different things. So let's start there. I, based on the evidence presented, believe that she was shot by Tory Lanez. Okay? But saying, oh, I know you support Meg, as if I can't use my common sense or assertion of other facts, is irritating as well. I don't support Megan and I don't support Tory. I don't support neither one of them. I look at what is being presented and I give my opinion based on that. I don't got no payments from a Tory Lanez daddy, or not near celebrity has ever paid me in my entire career on YouTube. I give my opinion based on my ability to look at the situation and give an opinion about it. I am a person, and let me tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in California. I used to do music videos. I've dated celebrities. So a lot of you guys may be enamored by celebrities. A lot of you guys may be skewed, and you may think like, oh, I like this celebrity or I like that celebrity, so therefore you go that way. A lot of the people who are y'all idols, y'all faves, they're assholes in person. They're trash in person. I've met a good deal of a lot of these people in person, and I be looking online and I be seeing how people talk about like how they're like for certain people who are complete and utter trash in person. Okay, so with that being said, being that I look at them just like everyday people like myself, they just happen to have a talent that they were able to capitalize on and make them a coin from. They bleed if they women. They bleed once a month just like the rest of the O's. They get cramps. They get, all kind of life woes the same as anybody else. So let's be clear on that. I don't support Megan in the way that you tried to claim. I believe, based on the evidence, that she was shot. I love Tory Lanez's music. However, I think the stuff that he be doing online is bogus, and I think that he needs to take accountability for what he did. Now, as it pertains to my thoughts on the lawsuit, I think that if Megan feels like every time she tries to get past this, Tory Lanez tries to wage war against her and she's sick of it and she wants to put it to a halt, I don't blame her. Shut his ass up, because as a person who loves his music, that will hit in live on here and throw on Chicks Tape and bang it and sing Proud Family word for word and sing a lot of the songs word for word, bar for bar, and jam out to it, I myself believe that he be doing too damn much as it pertains to misinterpreting some of the information that I seen firsthand myself in court. He be doing too much as it pertains to how he be using his audience to try to re-villainize this girl when he knows, according to me, that he shot her. Okay? And I am a woman, and I be damned if I get into an argument with a man, which I have got into several arguments with men. I done even maced a nigga in his face after he called me a bitch. And I be damned if he turned around and used a gun and shot me. Now, there was no allegation that Megan put her hands on Tory Lanez, and there was no facts presented that showed that she was a danger to him. Now, me, if I went and I maced a nigga, okay, he can rightfully so retaliate against me. Now, I done maced the nigga and he ain't never picked up no gun and shot me. So I don't think that there is no world where there is a time that a person gets into a argument and you pull out your pew-pew and shoot at them. Now, do I think that he intentionally was trying to shoot her and try to kill her? I don't know that I believe that he was trying to kill her, because I feel like, the shots probably would have been in a different spot. But even if you pull out a gun and you aim it at me, nigga, it's up and you are going to be held accountable. You pick up a pew-pew and you pull the trigger not one time by accident, not two times by maybe a mistake, but you pull the trigger on me 5 times and I get hit. I don't care if it grazed my pinky toe. If a bullet fly by my head, fly by my arm, fly by my elbow, and it just nicked me and I don't even have to have stitches, you gonna be held accountable for everything that you did. So in my opinion, I think that she definitely should keep her foot on they neck, period. Now, is Milagro his mouthpiece? I thought, in my opinion, I didn't think that she got paid. You know what I mean? When I was looking at it, I just looked at a girl that was fascinated with a celebrity that was doing what she did to try to be in his good graces and try to be friends with the family. A lot of people are not from California, so they don't really intermingle with celebrities. People who live outside of California don't have friendships normally. Not saying that they don't, but people who don't live in California in proximity to LA, they don't normally have relationships with celebrities. Me, on the other hand, I grew up with a lot of these people and hung out with a lot of these people that y'all call or that are celebrities. You know what I mean? For instance, like, I don't even want to start naming names, but I know a lot of people. I have friendships with a lot of people, and it has nothing to do with, you know, and a lot of people who are celebrities, I knew them and had friendships with them way before they even became a celebrity. Like, I have people who I literally grew up with that are famous and on TV as well. So I don't have the same outlook of celebrities. So in my opinion, when I saw her in alignment with Tory Lanez's family, I just thought that it was a girl who was fascinated with being close proximity with a celebrity, and she was giving her opinion on what she felt like was wrong with the case and all of that. Now, you know, whether she was their mouthpiece and she was paid, that's something that's going to be determined in a court of law. I don't know all of the facts of that. To me, when I personally had conversations with Milagro, it didn't seem like her points were like she was third party speaking on behalf of what they wanted her to say. I believe she genuinely don't like Megan, and she genuinely felt some type of way about her, and she genuinely created a relationship with Tory Lanez's family, and she was also getting a lot of traction from it as well. A big part of being a blogger is there are certain topics that get us a lot of traction, right? Me, I have waves, right? Like, I got a video where I was talking about Kristen Queen, and for a long time, that was like my meat and potatoes. That paid my bills. Talking about Queen Naja and Chris Els, oh, that paid my rent and my bills many a months, okay? That used to be a big hot topic on my channel, and that paid a lot of money. I think that even if the family never paid her, an incentive of just having close proximity to them and getting paid from it and being popular from having a take that most of social media adopt, that brings in revenue in itself. So she could have been a person, she could have felt like Tory Lanez shot her, but if the general public thinks that he didn't shoot her, that's going to be your cash cow. Now, me, for example, I never follow you know, I just don't give a fuck to pander to y'all, okay? And not saying that Milagro was pandering to y'all, because again, I feel like she genuinely don't like Meg the Stallion, and she genuinely was feeling like, no, F her, you know, I don't think she got shot, woo woo woo, because I had conversations with her. But a lot of these people, sometimes they never even know the celebrity, okay? There are people who will cape and cape and cape for certain celebrities because their audience translates to money. For example, anybody who kisses Nicki Minaj's ass with a platform automatically gets Nicki Minaj's audience, and the Barbs pay well. I don't give a fuck to pander to the Barbs, so I will stay where I'm at with it. Now, anybody who panders to Cardi B, they adopt her fan base, and Barty Gang pays well, okay? And you will get, you know, that it will work out in that regard. I don't give a damn to pander to Cardi B audience either. She be doing F shit, and so does Nicki Minaj. They both be doing bogus stuff, in my opinion. And so that's why I don't be growing as much as I should be growing on social media. I should be way further when it comes to my my subscribers and all of that, but I don't pander to none of these people. I tell it straight and straight on how I feel. This bogus, that's bogus, and I'm not as fascinated with these celebrities, okay? Period. What else? So I say all that to say that we'll see how it plays out in court, because she could very well prove that these are her original thoughts, and she could prove that these are her opinions. And it's up to a court and a jury of her peers to determine what weight they give it. Now, if she is being paid by Tory Lanez, as the lawsuit alleges, then I don't think that the claim that Meg the Stallion's team is putting out is bogus. Anytime she comes online, there are so many people that are coming against her, saying that she wasn't shot, and that messes with your career, your money, your likeness, and all of those things like that. So if you keep coming for my integrity, I'm going to hit your pockets. So I don't blame her for feeling like y'all won't let up. Like, the verdict has been read, the nigga found guilty, and we moving on and we going on. But they're not. It's a constant attack all the time. So if I was Meg the Stallion, I would feel like I'm coming for y'all pockets. So it is what it is. I said what I said. I don't care who get mad about it. And every single thing that Milagro says, from the time that she did her first video on Meg the Stallion up until the time that they go in front of that judge, they are going to attempt to use it against her. Now, in my personal experience, I think that Milagro should not make any statements. She should not say anything to anyone about it, because any and everything that she says or does can be used against her in this lawsuit. And I myself personally, I don't know how good her attorney is, but there's a difference in skill level in certain attorneys. And so if she doesn't have an attorney that is the equivalent of the attorney that Meg the Stallion has, there is a disadvantage there as well. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this little quick thing, right? So I was sitting in at the trial for T.I. and Tiny, right? We were viewing the trial. There was witnesses going on the stand. And then we took, I want to say, like a lunch break. Zonique went into the bathroom. She had a picture and she put up the middle finger, right? She put up the middle finger. She posed and she took a picture. She took a picture in the courthouse with her with the middle finger up. And guess what was the topic of discussion the next time we went before the judge? That picture that she took, and they basically painted her out to not have no regard for the court, that she was disrespecting the court, she didn't respect the law. It was this whole big on drawn out thing just from her taking a picture in the bathroom of the courthouse. So when these litigations go on, they put everything that you do, if they could spin it any type of way to make you look crazy, they will make you look crazy. So all I'm saying is, Milagro, don't give them anything else to use against you. Now, you may not care. You may feel like, Tasha K didn't pay any money, so you ain't gonna pay any money. But I'm just gonna say, just the wise thing to do is the way that they twist things, these high-powered attorneys, the way that you could be saying something innocent, but it could be interpreted or twisted any type of way. I would just advise that you don't say anything until you go to court. You have nothing to prove to the people on the internet. You don't have to prove to them that you hate Megan, you don't hate Megan, that you was paid or not paid. But every time that something happens and you go on Station Head, you're giving them another thing to show a disregard to the lawsuit. What got Tasha K booked on the $4.4 million was the fact that after she was notified by Cardi B that Cardi B felt some type of way about it, she continued. And so far, Milagro, you are kind of following in the same thing of continuing. Just cease until you get your victory or your dismissal or your countersuit or whatever, because everything that you do, they will tally that on the emotional distress therapy bill. That's just racking up more damages if this does not go the way that you feel like it will go in being dismissed or going in your way. Every single attempt to say, this or that, that's another therapy bill. That's another tally on the mental health checkoff, emotional distress. And that's driving things up more and more if this goes in Megan's favor. Now, it can go a whole nother way and they could dismiss it and they could feel like this lawsuit is without merit. But they're really building a narrative here that this is more along the lines of being criminal in nature, and they're basically building this thing. And let me tell you something. In my opinion, I watched the jurors of the Tiny and T.I. trial, right? The people who went on the stand, as far as Tiny, T.I., Zonique, when they went on the stand and when they were talking to the lawyers and they were giving their testimony, they were basically sweet, nice, kind. When the owner of the dog company went and did his testimony, he was like arrogant, he was egotistical, he was combative, and you could literally look at the jurors and see how they were receiving some of that stuff. So if the jury, who a lot of times, especially in Florida, might be a bunch of clear folk, if they hear some of these rants and some of this tone that you have, that can go a whole nother way. Like, that could go a whole nother way. Like, so I just say that to say that. So that's my thoughts on it. I said what I said. I don't care who get mad about it, who feels some way about it. I said what I said. And it is what it is. Okay? And so with that being said, I'll talk to y'all on the next one. Make sure y'all visit my website, www.nickatnight.com. And make sure y'all tip the tip jar as well. Is there anybody who wants to come up and give their opinion? Now, if you disagree with me, I don't care. You could come up and give your opinion if you want to. If not, we could end the stream and leave it there. But if there is anybody who wants to come up and speak and give your take on the matter, we could do that as well. Press 1 in the chat if you personally want to come up and speak. If not, I'll end the stream and I'll talk to you later. Let me know what y'all think. And only put 1 in the chat if you personally want to come up and speak. If not, we'll end the stream and we'll go about our day. Who is Mimi? You said Mimi go up. Who Mimi? Who is Mimi? I didn't even see Mimi. I'm not committed. She would prove herself victorious and F these restraining orders. Oh, okay. Neek, can you put your wig info in the chat? Child, they ain't paying me. Them people ain't paying me no check to be giving them no promo. But if you DM me, I can send it to you. But anyways, all right, you said drop the link. Unforgettable. Okay, baby. Let's see what you got to say, honey. You can go up on your phone. What you talking about? What are you talking about? You can't go up, you on your phone. What you talk about, girl? People go up on their phone every day. Girl, what? All you gotta do is exit out of this live and click the link and go in from the link. People go from their phone every day, B. All right, unforgettable. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But shout out to y'all in the chat. I appreciate y'all so much. My bad. Dazzle, hey, what's your thoughts?
Hey, Nick. Okay. So I've been watching this whole thing play out, and you do have a point. It is kind of giving some Tasha K vibes, right? Because after the interview with the girl Star Marie, Tasha K kept going, and she was basically cyberbullying Cardi B. And she was basically trying to get this like hate train going with the hashtag surviving Cardi B. Remember when Derek Jackson didn't agree with her, so then she put his business on Front Street and stuff like that. Like she started trolling her and everything. And then at one point Cardi B I think she did ask her to stop, did she?
She
And
wrote
she
her a
kept going.
DM and basically was telling her that the allegations wasn't true and she kind of wanted her to take it down. And then Tasha K was like, well, if it's not true, come interview me on my page. And then Cardi B didn't want to. So then Tasha K started interviewing she started doing commentary on some of the people that was close to Cardi B or whatever.
Yeah, and then when I think of like Milagro, it's like with Milagro, she technically, I think it's like a fixation. You know, when your audience like hearing you talking about a certain topic, and then it's like, okay, you're stuck on that in a way, and then it's like you already have, I don't, unfounded reasons why you don't like a person, because technically, nobody. Milagro and nobody else that follow, I mean, they don't know Megan. They're only basing things based on what they see or whatever the case may be. So I don't understand like why the hate be so strong. And they try to say it's because she lied on the innocent black man. You don't even know if that man is innocent. And technically based on, I mean, evidence, he ain't innocent. He ain't that nice of a man either, based on his track record. But in the same token, it just felt like she kind of did that. And even with this lawsuit, I'm like, I'm with you too. Why won't she just be quiet? But she won't be quiet because she's enjoying the attention. I think this is something that she wanted. I think that a lot of well, not a lot, well, certain vloggers and whatever, they like to attach themselves to a celebrity, and basically they kind of like ride they coattail or whatever. So I think this is what she wanted to do. So now she's attached to Megan, and so now she feels like she's made it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think she's outwardly taking it as serious as she's supposed to. But I think inwardly she's probably a little afraid. But I mean, if I was her, I'd just be quiet. I probably wouldn't even talk about Megan. I'd just get the subject and talk about other people. I don't know. What you think?
I mean, if Meg the Stallion was coming after me, y'all wouldn't hear nothing but a statement that my lawyer said. This is what I can read. That's it.
And then the lawyer that Megan is coming with is Jay-Z's lawyer, and it looked like he's not playing. It really looked like he been putting foot on neck. So I'm like, girl, like, and when you was talking about the different caliber of lawyers, he's part of a dream team.
Yeah,
What are we talking about?
The experience of the lawyers makes a big difference because, for example, when I was watching the YSL trial like a lot of the lawyering happens before the courtroom, like stuff that gets admitted, stuff that doesn't, stuff that gets seen before a jury. And an experienced lawyer, they know like certain case laws to keep certain evidence out or to put certain evidence in. And, you know, it's a whole lot of nuances that go on to it. So hopefully, you
Yeah.
know, I would hope that, you know, she doesn't have to end up paying millions and millions of dollars, or, you
If
know.
I was Milagros' friend and there was any way I can give her an exit, I would grab her by her wrist and we would run out of the door. Like, just leave all of it alone, be like, I'm sorry, and we just talk about something else because I'm scared for her.
I mean, I'm not saying be scared of anybody coming
I
after
mean,
you.
not scared, but like, I'm
Yeah, I
scared
wouldn't
she's
I
gonna
wouldn't
lose.
I wouldn't say be scared or anything like that. Like, she shouldn't run from it. I mean, if you said it, stand on what you say. But I just wouldn't give them any more. You know what I mean? Like, I just wouldn't give them no more.
Yeah.
But she definitely, I mean, don't run, but you know, stand on what you say, but I wouldn't give him no more. But Unforgettable, what's your thoughts?
She bullied that girl. She bullied her. She called herself being a bully, and now she's getting back what she's dished out. To me, in my opinion, she went to that court case to sabotage it. If he was innocent, why did you have to go there and do all those antics that you did?
So you believe that Milagro bullied Megan the Stallion?
I believe, yeah, because she tried to bully one person up there at the courthouse and almost got her ass handed to her.
I agree with you on that. I agree.
That
Child.
person shall remain nameless. I said it. I said it. But still, I mean, that's what she does. And
You so
you were saying that
messy.
it
You
a minute
messy.
ago.
All right. Pause.
Drizzle, you
Unforgettable.
said.
Oh, go ahead. Finish.
Dre-
Finish. What you saying?
okay, Drizzle. A minute ago, you said if you were her friend, not even so much as her friend. If I was one of her members, fans, followers, lady, stop. You see, they are not playing with you. They are not. And you are still doing what this woman, you were still keeping it up.
And then
It's
they got,
plenty of
and then
things
they
she
said
could
they
be.
got proof. They said they got proof, and I'm like,
But
oh my god.
and believe me, they have it. I have even
Cammy
screen
B says, Nick,
recordings.
you've been accused of bullying Krishan. How the hell have I bullied Krishan?
Krishan bullies herself.
By feeling like
Krishan,
Krishan do dumb stuff, that's bullying her? Not agreeing with the BS of going between her and Blueface, that's bullying her? Child, nobody bullied Krishan. I damn for sure ain't misrepresented nothing that happened or lied on her at all. So please save it.
But you must be doing something right when you speak on Krishan, because I look at other content creators who speak on Krishan the same way that you do, and for some reason they get so upset when you do it. So you must be saying something right.
they can't
Child.
change her mind. What
Mm-hmm.
she says, she stands on it, and that's it. You're not gonna. She's already weighed both options, the pros and the cons, and whatever she thought of, that you're not gonna change her mind.
Period.
Yeah.
And not agreeing with somebody and not agreeing with their behavior and bullying is two different things. Y'all think that you gotta kiss everybody's ass and that's what it has to be. You don't have to kiss somebody's ass. There's a difference from disagreeing with their behavior and not falling for the BS God thing that she be doing every time she do some BS for y'all, and bullying her. I don't bully her. Vent, go ahead.
Did Milagros say anything that was false about Megan?
Say that again.
Did Milagros say anything that was false about Megan?
What the complaint alleges is that she's misrepresented information to her audience and that she posted a deep fake video of Megan the Stallion, and they feel like she was Tory Lane's mouthpiece. That's what the allegation is.
Oh, wait a minute. Can I say something? Then I'm gonna get off. In the last song that he just did with DDG, he said that now he got 10 years because he didn't snitch. Bruh, you talking about a civilian. You better sing. You better sing. So you rather sit there and be locked up because you're not snitching on somebody who you're saying that you're snitching on. You're gonna let her run free and you're gonna be stuck behind bars. He better sing. He better
But
talk
see, that's the
something.
thing. He's still doing narratives. Like that's a false narrative. Like that's. I mean, even down to now, like you said, the song. I'm like, he's still putting out false narratives. And I do think that Milagro did say some things that was inaccurate. Like in the way you are defaming someone if you're saying that they're so drunk they need a handler and things like that. Or like you're saying that they have a mental um disability and stuff. Like I seen that too. And I'm like, okay, well, you're saying it like they actually have that and they don't. So that can be something that can be viewed as that. I mean, even down to the point where, it's already established that she was pow pow and you still hung on with the narrative that it was glass, knowing that it was not glass.
But think about it. Even when she
So
went
that
to the
too.
when she went to court, she was coming back giving commentary. She was spinning everything to go in his favor. He
Yes,
made it
and then
seem like everything was. It took Neek and other people to come out and tell what happened. Then she wanted to go bully those people. So that goes back to what I'm saying. If he was so innocent, why do you have to come there to the court and pull your antics and try to sabotage certain things when he was
You could say
innocent?
you could say the same thing about Tory's dad though. He was making a muck outside of the courtroom.
Yeah, and I don't really
True.
trust his father. I don't really trust his father like that because, to be honest, I feel like you said, he was making the muck, right?
Put on a full
And
show.
a full show, and then I'm like, okay, a man of God is now being alleged to be paying someone to speak a certain way about his son's victim.
I mean, Tory Lane's daddy approached me at court because they didn't
And
like what I was saying online. But one thing about it, I'm not scary. So
Daddy.
who are you talking to?
But see, that's the other part. Like, and then that's the whole thing. That's the whole other thing. Like, I thought Rock Nation was the ones that was silencing people. But it seems like if people are approaching people because they don't like what they say, that means in a way you're gonna try to confront them to get them to stop, which means that you want to stop what they say, which means you want to stop their freedom of speech, right?
Child,
Also,
clock it.
her
And
talking
when
to
I went live,
witnesses.
I kind of dumbed down like the altercation with Tory Lane's dad just for the simple fact that I didn't really want it to be like a whole big old thing or whatever. But just know, like, child, I don't be playing with people.
And also
I want to know
her
what
going
happened.
into the courthouse before she went there, she called and talked to Kelsey. Why? The
I
day.
think she put herself. I think at some point, I do feel like she aligned herself too closely with them.
You
And
want to
she
really
wanted to
know?
be their friend and not the blogger she was supposed to be.
But
So
are we
I don't
shocked
know.
that Megan is suing somebody who's on Tory Lane's side?
What?
I think Megan is
It's
suing,
not a
huh?
shock. It's not a shock that Megan is suing the opposition. To me, it's kind of just you're trying to sue somebody's biggest supporter. I mean, just like you said about the free speech thing. I mean, does Tory get any support?
Yeah, he can get support, but what I'm saying is,
The
and I
ant.
added on to that with the aligning yourself too closely, but what I also feel like is it's a line, right? Like what Nick does. She doesn't, she reports, And hey, she can even say she side with something or she can agree with something. But I don't feel like she's going out of bounds, right? She's not getting too disrespectful or disrespectful. I think what Milagro does is y'all call it raw, but really is actually obsessively disrespectful. I remember it was one point I used to listen to her, but it was one point when I was listening to her talking about Cardi B, and she was like, "I hate her, I hate her, I hate her," and she was crying on the phone. She was crying and screaming, talking about how much she hates Cardi B, and I was like, "What did Cardi B do to you, girl?" I think it's an
That's
over
awful.
investment and over going hard. It's okay to talk mess, but it gets to a point where it feels like you're being targeted.
And let's be clear. This lawsuit, if Meg the Stallion wins, is not a good thing for bloggers, okay? Because it will only incentivize other people to try and silence anybody who doesn't agree with them. So I don't want y'all to think that I think that, oh, this lawsuit is a good thing, or, because at the end of the day, if there is any type of millions of dollars attached to this that goes in Meg the Stallion's favor, that is only going to even put out more claims to lesser offenses to bloggers simply because people don't agree. So I don't even like the climate that we are in, because it just gets murky, because if this goes through, then lesser claims will go through, and people, like, the bar will go lower to just, oh, you disagree with somebody, so lawsuit. You know what I mean? So I don't totally agree in that regard either. So I just want to also make that clear. But there is, like you said, a fine line between the two. And being that this is something that is detrimental to her career, I believe that is why she's taking the course of action that she's taken. Even though that if she wins, it will be bad for bloggers and people of my job. Even though I don't do what Milagro does, and I don't feel like I do what Tasha K does, it still will go against kind of what we do. I could do a video about somebody on Facebook. Mind you, I did a video about somebody on Facebook, and it was I read verbatim a public post that the girl posted on her page. She literally had a beef with a woman, was talking about a situation. I read a verbatim post. I didn't access her Facebook. I just searched the situation. Her name popped up, and all of her posts were public. I read them, and I was like, oh, she feel like this or that. Based on what she said, you even got common folk who you read exactly what they said out their mouth, talking about, oh, I'm going to sue you. This is putting my family in danger. Bitch, how I'm putting your family in more danger than you did by beefing with a bitch that live and is accessible to you publicly online. But I'm putting you in danger because I read exactly what you said. So it's like a domino effect that, you know what I mean? It gives regular common folk the thought that they could sue for everything, even though a lot of it just be baseless and like laughable. But it's just, it's just a whole tricky situation that it has a domino effect. So with that being said, I'm gonna thank y'all for coming up. And we're going to end the live video. Shout out to y'all who are watching. Until next time. Make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all go to my website, www.neekatnight.com, and make sure you